If you've struggled to make banana bread that's perfectly moist and fluffy every time, you're in the right place. Yeah! Today, I'm sharing my favorite banana bread recipe with a secret ingredient that makes it foolproof. The secret ingredient is instant pudding mix. Before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name is Kenelyn, a self-taught home baker with over 15 years of experience, and I love to help beginner bakers gain more confidence in the kitchen with my simple and easy to follow recipes. So make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more baking tips and tricks. With that, let's get into it. The first tip to making super moist banana bread is to make sure you have extra ripe bananas. These brown spotty ones are perfect for this recipe. It will give you maximum flavor and just the right amount of sweetness. They're also super soft, which makes it very easy to mash them up. We're looking for a somewhat wet consistency. Tip number 2, crack your eggs in a separate bowl. I do this every time just to make sure any cracked eggs don't have any shells in the actual recipe. You can see right here that there's a little shell that got left behind. To take this out, take one of your eggshells and you can simply fish it out. Quick tip number 3. Mix your wet ingredients thoroughly. You want to make sure the eggs, the banana, and the oil are well combined. Next, we're onto the dry ingredients. Combine all of your dry ingredients into a small bowl. And here is the special ingredient, instant pudding mix. You can use vanilla or chocolate instant pudding mix. While the original recipe calls for vanilla, I use chocolate here just to change it up a little bit. Next, on to tip number 4. Gently fold your ingredients together. What do you mean by fold ingredients together? Let me show you how. Take your spatula, bring it down the middle of the batter, and then flip it over onto itself. Also, scrape the sides of the bowl just to make sure you get every last bit. Now, if you're adding chocolate chips, you want to stop here and make sure you have some flour left over, because tip number 5, do not overmix the batter. Overmixing the batter can lead to a dense and tough texture, and we don't want that. So you want to stir just enough until there's no more streaks of flour left in your batter. Once you see that that's all gone, you want to stop mixing. Now it's time to prep the pans, which leads me to tip number 6. Only fill your pans 3/4 of the way up. This will help prevent overflowing and overbaking. The more batter you have in your pan, the more time it will need to bake, which brings me to my next quick tip. Number 7. Use the lower end time mentioned in the recipe. For example, if the recipe says to bake for 18 to 22 minutes, bake it for 18 minutes first, then test for doneness. To check for doneness, stick a toothpick in the middle of your banana bread, and then make sure that there's still a few moist crumbs left on it. This is important because overbaking can lead to a very dry banana bread. Tip number 9. Allow the banana bread to cool in the pan for a couple of minutes, no longer than that. And the final tip is to remove your banana bread from the pan and finish cooling on a wire rack. This will avoid any residual heat from cooking the banana bread even further. And there you have it, my top 10 tips for making the most fluffy and moist banana bread. Would you try instant vanilla pudding in your banana bread? Let me know in the comments below.